2 more deep breath. Inhale nose, exhale open mouth. Good, and then we open our eyes. So for our talk this morning, I want to prepare the heart center and also our brain. So we do a Kriya that is really powerful. And there's a Kriya as a set of exercises where one builds upon the other. So we will go in the row. It's not many exercises, just a few. So the first one, you have your elbows really by your side and they are glued here. And you just, on the exhale, you bring your thumbs close together in front without touching. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You're closing your eyes. In and exhale through your nose. See that the thumbs are not touching, that your fingers are really spread apart as much as you can, and keep moving. Elbows are at your rib cage, as if they are glued together there. Move rigorously. This will tranquilize all the elements in our body. And actually, also, the movement will stimulate the cerebellum and the spine. Go as fast as you can. See that you're not moving your elbows away from your rib cage. That's the trick here. Palms facing straight forward, fingers are spread, eyes are closed, thumbs are never touching. Imagine the auric field around your heart center, which you're strengthening right now. Make sure you engage your navel. On the exhale, pull your navel towards your spine. Pushing the life force from the lower triangle into the upper. Keep your eyes closed, mild focus between your eyebrows. We have a little ways to go, 2 more minutes. And watch your thoughts that are crossing through your mind. We're working the astral plane, our emotional plane right now. Thoughts can come up. And when they come up, just watch them. Treat them like guests. They can visit you, but then they should not overstay. Last minute. Little faster, last 15 seconds, go as fast as you can. You will get a flutter breath. Inhale, suspend your breath just for 10 seconds. Hold your breath. Exhale. Inhale again. Suspend your breath. Control your breath. Hold it in. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Suspend. Just for 10 seconds. And exhale. Gently open your eyes. Bring your left palm down, right palm up. And it's just as if you have like little balls in your hands. So the fingertips, everything can touch. And as if you're playing ball. Find your breath here. So this can be uncomfortable if you tend to have arthritis in your hands, but it's also great, to help you with that condition. Close your eyes again and just go as fast as you can, playing ball. It's actually also great for digestion because we're working the colon meridian in our forearms. These movements this morning, they're not hard or complicated. They just need determination. Align the movement with your breath or your breath with your movement. Left palm is facing down, right palm is facing up. Your entire body actually starts to move. If you do it fast enough, you will see that everything starts to move inside of you. You feel how your spine gets impacted. And this posture is the preparation for the following, which we will start in a minute. Keep a smile on your face. It's not that hard. Little faster, last little bit. Go back to your flutter breath. Good, inhale and hold the palms, left facing down, right up. Suspend your breath. Feel the energy in your hands right now. Stay in the posture, exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. One more time. Exhale. Good. Then we open our eyes, we make fists. Our thumbs are inside and they're at the level of our shoulders. And you just rotate your wrists. So again, my elbows are glued against my rib cage and I just rotate. I close my eyes. I find my breath and I just rotate. Now we're actually oxygenating our blood, sending it to the brain. We work the pituitary gland, the master gland of our body, to help to secrete. Always remember the glands are the guardians of our health. And we want to keep them really healthy. Now lean slightly back, like just 20 degrees with a straight spine and keep moving. This is a very short posture, so you can keep up. Just one more minute. A little faster. You will come back to the flutter breath. Inhale and just stand still here. Suspend your breath. Exhale, open mouth. Inhale, nose. Exhale, open mouth. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Last posture, open your eyes. Left hand goes, your forearm goes in front of your heart center. Left palm is facing down. Right palm is above your left, facing the back of your left hand. Straighten your spine, tuck your chin, bring your head slightly back. Inhale, count to 5. Exhale, count to 5. Just mentally. Inhale and slowly count to 5. Exhale, slowly count to 5. This mudra balances the heart center. Forearms have to be parallel, not down. Last minute. Inhale deeply, suspend your breath. Exhale and slowly bring your hands onto your thighs or knees, palms facing upward. And then we are ready for you.
Thank you, Siddhi. Let me just get myself settled here. Okay. Namaskaram, ladies. You know, but that Kriya, Siddhi, I don't know about you gals, but I suspect you felt this also. It felt like your whole internal life was the cosmos. Like there was an arrangement, your organs are arranged in a certain way, and there was a rhythm and there was a relationship that was happening inside the body, and the communication that was happening from one part to the next. You could feel the flow happening. It's really cool. Love those Kriyas. Okay, so a couple of things. One is to welcome Orit has joined us. Thank you, Orit, for joining us today. She is a friend, student, and colleague of Lydia's, and she has joined us. So we're very happy to have a new face with us. And Sophia, I saw you on. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm so happy to see you. And Stacy also, a few of you who have been otherwise detained, but you're here. So we love it when you come back. It's so nice. So two other things. One is that several of you sent me photographs of your existing altars or the new altars that you created after our gathering last week. And I have made a slideshow, but I want to add more photos. So anyone that has or is in the process of making the altar, please remember to send off a photo to me or a couple of photos, and I will add them, and we'll do a slideshow in a couple of weeks when we've gotten all the photos in. It's really beautiful to see the different things that everyone's doing. So if you have a chance, just pop an email or even a text to me with your photo would be fabulous. And the second thing is Siddhi and I are imagining, this is just an imagination, we're imagining about maybe putting a group of ladies to take a trip to India next year. And we're imagining that it would happen between the last week of February and the first week of April, because sometime in there, because that suits our schedules potentially, and it also is nice weather in India. It's a beautiful time to be traveling in India. And we've been talking about where that might take us. We don't have any of the specific details anchored, but we just wanted to toss it out for any of you who might wish to participate in a trip like that, to let us know, and we'll start a sort of group email on, whether or not you could, and the dates and constrictions and restrictions and all of that, to see if we can get a group. It would be no larger than 12 of us. So Siddhi and myself plus 10 more would be max, just because it's the ease of moving that many people around, and for us to be able to interact and all of the things that make a trip like that to a country like this possible. So we're just throwing it out, and let's see where that goes. And one note about our retreat in January. This next week, Siddhi and I will send some more details out to you. We have 27 women coming right now, so it's going to be a lovely group. And we just want to give you another update, a little more information. So we will collaborate on that and send it out. And Sophia asks, is it a month duration? No, it'll only be about, the trip to India will only be about probably 10 days. 2 weeks max. What we're thinking is maybe 10 days as a group, and then there might be an add-on. There's just so much to see in India. You could, stay for several months, but just from people's life and calendars, 2 weeks is like max for most people to get away. And 10 days is a little more doable, maybe 10 days here and a day traveling on both ends. And we might do an add-on trip of a few things that some people who have never been to India might like to see, that we are a little bit off our itinerary. So we'll keep you informed. Just let us know what you're thinking. And I think that's all of the updates at this moment. So today we're going to talk about where wisdom comes from. So for us as conscious women working to bring in an alignment between ourselves and our knowingness and our wisdom and the outside world, and live in that flow that allows us to feel like we're not out of control, but we're not controlling. We're in that really sweet spot between the two, that we're receiving information that helps and guides us, internal information that guides us in making our decisions and our movement, so that we are able to respond in a really beautiful way and feel that even when things are unexpected, we are able to navigate that. And wisdom is one of the keys to that. Women, they say, have an innate creativity around that. And we have a desire, a sort of desire that runs across women to want to know that wisdom. In Sanskrit, it's called jnana, which means divine wisdom. And it's written about a lot in all of our Eastern tradition books that we read, wisdom books. And it is something that is cultivated. So depending upon how serious you are about operating out of that place, that wisdom seat in your system, you'll spend more committed time to developing that. So when we're in a place of responding from our jnana, which is an internal space, we take external experiences and we use those as sort of grist for the mill to give us a way to have context. But the knowingness, so there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is what our brain does with taking information and categorizing it and sorting it and keeping it for us for when we need to know how many inches are in a foot. But our wisdom comes from heart. It's heart space. And the opening of our heart is the portal to being able to access this wisdom. And in the Eastern traditions, it's done through the divine feminine, either Durga or Kali, one of the divine feminine deities, because those are all about cracking open the heart space. And when the heart space is flowing, that's why Siddhi had us doing so many kriyas and individual practices today, so that we could actually feel the heart. And I'm sure many of you did. There was like a, the energy flowing through your body was palatable. You could feel it, and your heartbeat you could feel. And that's the place we want to be cultivating, so that as we move into this wisdom space and we sit in this wisdom seat, we're just accessing heart space all the time. That many times we make our initial reaction or response or intuition around something comes from our heart space, and then our mind gets involved and our mind says, oh no, you can't do this because this might happen and so won't like it. And there are like a whole bunch of reasons why the original reaction you had almost as a physical reaction can't happen. No. And this is what we have to learn to mitigate. We have to learn to be able to hold our heart space and our brain space separately. Those are data points. We need both of them. We need to know how many inches are in a foot. There are times when that's really useful to have. So the data that we keep in our brain is useful. We're not trying to turn it off and not use it. We're trying to not let it run amok over the wisdom instinct that we have in situations where we're trying to make a decision that isn't just a mental decision. It's more of a holistic decision. So we're trying to decide something out of the fullness of us. So it isn't just what's logical or easy or works into our life. How does that fit into my life? It's actually a bigger piece of us. It includes all of us, which is our past, present, future. It's all of us wrapped up. So this introspection, which unleashes this Shakti power that we have inside of us, is what we can nurture and cultivate through practices such as the ones that Siddhi led us through today. Mantras are another really wonderful way to tune in. It's like a tuning fork. I am sure that Lydia could help us with this, and maybe this is something we can address at our retreat, in January because sound is a very useful mechanism for getting into the heart. And when we get into that space, then we're able to start knowing what it feels like. So this is a trust situation. I know there are a few of you on this call who I have been doing some individual mentoring with and work, and we've started, a couple of us have started these little book of miracles. And it's just a little notebook where we're keeping track of the times when something comes to us intuitively or even synchronistically from the outside world, and we dismiss it or not, but we see it. And to start recording those occurrences as our little miracles, because often those are very accurate. And if we start to notice that they're happening and we see that the outcome of integrating those into our decision making or into our planning works well, we start to trust. Otherwise, we say, when we hear something, we say, no, that can't possibly be a sign. It's not a sign. We're looking for signs. I'm sure many of you have heard this wonderful, wonderful allegory or story. It's a bit of a Christian story about the storm. I'm just going to tell it because it's so cute and it really illustrates this idea. The storm that descends on the small town, and the downpour turns into a flood, and the waters are rising, and the local church, the preacher there is on the church porch, and he's praying as the water is rising around the church. And one of the town folk comes along in a canoe and says, get on in, preacher, you know, this is not good. You need to come with us. And he says, no, I have faith in the Lord. He will save me. And the waters keep rising. And now he's had to move. The preacher's had to move up onto the balcony. And he's on the balcony and he's wringing his hands and thinking what to do. And another guy comes by, but he's in a motorboat. And he says, come on, get on board. Let's go. The water's rising. And the preacher's like, no, I'm okay. It's going to be fine. You know, the Lord's going to take care of me. And they say, okay, well, if you don't want to come, that's fine. Then the levee breaks and the water rushes into the church. And the only place for the minister priest to go is to climb up onto the steeple, which he does. And he's up at the very top of the steeple, and a helicopter goes over. They're one of the search helicopters, and they see him and they call down to him on the megaphone, we're putting the ladder down, preacher, hop on, we'll bring you on up. And he's like, no. They go, this is your last chance. He goes, no, I'm okay. And as you can imagine, the waters keep going and the pastor drowns, and he gets to heaven and he says, you know, he has a little interview with God, and he says, what's the deal? I showed unwavering faith and trust in you, and you didn't show up. And God says, what do you want from me? I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. And I think, you know, often we get in our life boats and helicopters, and we're waiting for a lightning bolt in order for us to believe and trust that something that's synchronistic or intuitive or is just something that comes along is actually answering a question we have. And this little book of miracles is one way for us to record some of these little occurrences where something just happens to fly into your life and you're like, I'm not sure that's indicating, but maybe, and write it down. And we start to see that there is a beautiful synchronicity that's happening to the cosmic order. And when we're in tune with it through our heart space and we see it, and we're in awareness, and then we start to trust that we know what it feels like. This is a question of feeling. How do we feel something in our heart space so that we know, listen to this, don't listen to this. So the biggest thing that people tell me is, I don't know when it's a sign and when it's just the way life is. How do I know? This is an attuning. This is the way that we start to listen to our heart space and we start to observe when we are getting answers that are a part of our own natural wisdom about ourselves and our life and how we are to respond in it. This is a very important discipline for us to work with, because if we can cultivate the energetic heart, the heart that responds to what's going on around us and has an assessment and information that even our mind cannot access, then that becomes a cornerstone of how we operate in the world, how we know how to respond and how we know how to show up in the world, because as women and healers, which we all are, we want to enter the world from a place of healing, not a place of being in constriction. So for us to take the time to make sure and observe and watch and be in response to that is a really significant spiritual discipline and development for us. So what I would like to suggest is that we imagine that we have that jnana. We already have it. It's just a matter of uncovering it or hearing it. You know, we call the heart as a chakra, the Anahata chakra, we call it the unstruck sound. So we can hear things that aren't even audible. So that knowingness and that wisdom that you hear in your system doesn't have to be a clanging bell. It doesn't have to be that loud. It can be very subtle and very sweet and very gentle, but it can become a guiding light for how it is that you respond into the world. And so for us to take the time, let's take the time and start witnessing. Be a witness of your anahata, of your heart space. Pay attention. Be present to that which is coming through your life, so that when the boats come and the helicopters come, you actually use them. We use the tools that the cosmos is offering to us to ease our journey. We don't have to say, no, I don't want any help. We can take the help when it's offered to us, whether it's from the divine, from our next door neighbor, or from just whatever we know about what it is we need to do. Those are all gentle ways for us to be assisted. This cosmic journey that we're on is not meant to be done alone. It's not meant to be done alone. We're in community with not only all aspects of ourselves, but all aspects of those around us and with this planet. And the more we listen to that intertwining that is happening, the more we'll be in our own wisdom call. And we will be able to respond in ways that are delightful for us, even in the face of disappointment, loss, tears. All of those things are part of our life. But when we're operating from our heart space, there's room. Your room in our heart is expanded to whatever amount of space we need. It's not limited. We have unlimited heart space, unlimited. So holding the space for relationships and for healing and for loss and for attempts that we make to make sense of this journey, we need our heart space. We need this space really cleared and really clean and really available to us. This is the time in our lives, whatever has come before, which for each of us, we all have a story. If we wanted to go across, every woman on this call has a story that has heartbreak in it. We all have that. But it isn't something we have to hold on to. It's something we use as part of the way that we come in touch with what this heart space feels like. It's part of the teachings that we get to absorb so that we live into the wisdom that we want to be as we are this age and as we become the elders that are guiding our younger, our children, our grandchildren, our community children, where this is important for us to guide from that space, not to guide from reaction. So I'm going to say wisdom is our key word for this week. And I'm going to invite you to pay attention and start your little book of miracles and see how many times you find that the knowingness and the wisdom that's in you is already operating. You just aren't listening to it, or you don't trust it because you're not sure it's strong enough, and your mind gets involved. Let your mind go on rest for this week around decisions that you're making, and let your heart respond. You don't have to make the final decision, but let your heart respond and see where that takes you. See what avenue that takes you down. And then you can decide, am I going to go with that heart space decision, or am I going to go with a head space? And you're going to start to notice the difference, which one works in which situations. When do I need to be thinking clearly from knowledge, and when do I need to be thinking about my heart space? and let's see what happens for the week.
Thank you, Nirmala. While you were speaking, I was like, I thought of, in the yogic tradition, we look at that hope is healing our digestive system and faith is healing the heart, and this was the face with the helicopter or not. That was interesting. Good. Let's interlace all our fingers, place them on top, your palms on your chest, thumbs are up. I will play the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, different version. So some of you know the mantra, you can chant with it. Otherwise, you just listen to the vibration. It's a very gentle, very heartfelt version this morning. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale. Take a deep inhalation into your heart center. Exhale. One more time. And then we bring our hands just into prayer pose. Being present to the fragrance of peace in our heart right now. And with Om Shanti Shanti, we spread this fragrance to everyone we encounter today. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May you all have a beautiful, peaceful, joyous weekend.
Love to you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Can you give me
Yeah.
the possible months again next year?
The last week of February, March, and the first week of April, those 6 weeks, it would be somewhere in those 6 weeks.
Okay.
We don't have the dates set. We would probably set them based on